Hey guys, it's Mrs. Kincaid, and I'm back with Book 2 of Shadow House, ready for Chapter 28. And I have no idea where to even go with this. So just remember at the end, go to Play-Doh and send me a message that says Book 2, Chapter 28, and we'll talk about whatever ideas we have at the end of this. Ooh, here come some answers. Emerging from the stairwell, a girl in a gray uniform and a cap mask stepped towards the group. She was followed by two more masked figures. Or was it three? Cyrus shouted out as two of the masked children grabbed him, holding him still. Azumi? Marcus whimpered. How did you do that? She stared at him, but only continued to smile. Everyone watched as long-haired Azumi's eyes seemed to grow, and the sides of her mouth began to droop in an exaggerated frown. The girl hitched a breath as a patch of skin crumbled away from her chin, revealing something hard and dark underneath. Fighting nausea, Poppy covered her mouth. Marcus leaned against the railing, his mind reeling, horrified by the girl's sudden transformation. Soon, the gray patch had spread across the girl's face. And then it began to rain to the floor in small clumps. The breeze was whipping pieces of it away and off of the roof. So her face kind of turned into like this crumbly stuff, and it's falling off of her. A glass vial filled with dark liquid dropped to the floor with a clink. Esme, whispered Poppy. A girl in a chimp mask glared back at them. Marcus moaned as if someone had just punched him in the stomach. I was telling you the truth, Marcus, said Azumi, the real Azumi, as she wiped away angry tears. She was the one who was lying. So the short-haired Azumi is the real one. The long-haired Azumi is actually the girl with the chimp mask, whose name is Esme. Poppy stammered. She was unable to form a thought. There was something she had to do. Oh yeah, her bag. Shaking, she dug through the items from the filing cabinet. Her hand brushed against hard candies and a soft leather football and the spine of a spiral notebook. Esme's notebook. Azumi, Poppy cried, pulling the notebook from her bag. Catch! And she threw the book across the landing. Azumi caught it, clapping it between her palms and holding it away from herself awkwardly. What do I do with it? She said. Cyrus let out a yelp as the specials dragged him along the railing. Poppy stepped forward, reaching out to him as if she could help, but Matilda jumped out and swiped at her. Irving climbed onto Cyrus's back, swinging the chains that joined his ankle up and around the old man's torso. Cyrus grunted, struggling to stand upright, as Aloysius shoved at his chest again and again. Esme threw back her head and laughed. Then she lunged at Marcus. He dodged her and then cried out, Poppy, help! To his shock, Poppy rushed towards Cyrus instead. Poppy! Esme clutched his jacket. Poppy grasped at Aloysius's rabbit mask, but he shook her off. She fell back, and Aloysius landed a blow that doubled Cyrus over, and Irving fell to the floor. Furious, Marcus yanked himself out of Esme's grip and rolled closer to the corner where Azumi stood frozen. Dash tried to skirt the girl in the cat mask to make it back towards Azumi too, but the cat snarled and leaned towards him, threatening him to charge. The mask! Dash shouted, ducking Matilda's fist. Azumi, you have to take off Esme's mask! The girl in the chimp mask lunged for Azumi, but Azumi leaned into the attack, and she reached her arms around Esme. She hugged her with one arm, and with the other, she raked her fingers across the chimp's mask, catching the ends of it and tossing it over the railing. Esme gasped. and went rigid. Azumi took a small step back and looked up into the eyes of the dark-haired girl standing before her. They were filled with fear and with confusion. The other specials stopped what they were doing and just stared at her in awe. Cyrus slumped against the railing, struggling for breath, barely able to move. "Give her the notebook, Azumi," said Poppy. I'm so sorry for what I did to you," said Esme, her voice hoarse. "I tried to stop it, I really did. But this place, don't trust anyone, not even yourself." So this is the girl in the chimp mask, Esme. A grin blossomed on Esme's face. She flipped the notebook open, gasping at the handwriting that she had placed there decades earlier. "Dear sister." She turned page after page, her smile growing wider. Then, hugging the book to her chest so tightly that she almost buried herself inside of it, she started to fade away, just as Randolph had done when Marcus had given him the harmonica. Colors leached from her body. It was almost like a watercolor painting on wet paper itself. And soon, all that was left of her was a bit of soft laughter. Before Azumi could say goodbye, the wind had taken that away too. Matilda howled in frustration, snapping the other specials back into action. She and Aloysius turned towards Cyrus. Black goo was dribbling from the rabbit's mask, and the old man sputtered and moaned. The cat girl rushed forward as Aloysius shoved Cyrus again towards the edge of the tower. "Stop it!" cried Poppy. "Leave him alone!" But even as she pushed away from the wall, her bag snagged on one of the empty gilded frames, and she tripped and landed hard on her side. She saw movement out of the corner of her eye, and the noise of a brawl quieted as a girl appeared, and possibly it was a girl on the canvas. Who do you think it's going to be? It was Poppy's girl, her cousin, Connie Caldwell. Though she was flickering in and out of focus and her expression was pained, as if it took tremendous effort for her to be there at all. So she's not in a mirror. She's showing up on a blank canvas as a painting. She reached out her hand to Poppy, like she had in the mirror at Thursday's Hope so many, many times. But this time, instead of a strange object, she held a small black notebook. It was Cyrus's journal. "Is that what he needs?" Poppy gasped. But Connie was gone. Irving saw the notebook in Poppy's hand and lurched over to Cyrus before she could get there, climbing the railing and looping the chains from around his ankles over the old man's neck. "No!" Poppy screamed, jumping up and thrusting the journal into Cyrus's hand. He looked down in awe, and for just a second, until his feet began to slip out from under him, and Irving, Aloysius, and Cyrus tumbled over the railing together, and they disappeared, screaming as they fell. Okay, and this is my question for you. Go to Play-Doh, get a message open, put Book 2, Chapter 28. Do you think that Poppy got Cyrus his notebook in time? Do you think now that he's holding it in his hands as he falls, is he going to be freed and be able to leave this place? Or was it too late? All right. Thanks, guys. See you the next chapter.